third episode of Fly Tying for Beginners. So as you can see, we have the black panel from a previous episode still in the vise. So what I'm going to do for this one is, the black panel from the last episode was a size 12, so I'm just going to take that out and change to a larger hook. It's a size 10 Kamasan B175, so the same type of hook, just one size larger, and thread I'm going to be using Uni Thread in black. So basically, as per the last fly, catch on, run our thread down, just creating a nice even base layer, taking our thread down to somewhere between the point and the barb. Just if you're not sure, just drop it every now and again and see where it settles. So we'll trim off our tag, and again I have some dyed orange golden pheasant tippet. So just a slightly bigger bunch than I was taking for the 12, obviously just because it's a bigger hook. And again, roughly the length of our shank. So catch it on, a couple of turns and tighten down in. Just take a quick look to make sure it's sitting on top of the shank, and then we'll take our thread back up. So just trim off that and then tidy it up. I'm going to catch my ribbon now, which for the previous fly I was using the Simperfly 0.2mm wire. This time, again, just because it's a bigger hook, I'm going to go for something slightly thicker. So I've got some silver uni oval, French oval, and small. So I'll catch it in just at the top of the fly, and again, tight touch and turns the whole way down, just trying to keep an even body. Just bringing all my material from the rear up to the front, and then tying my rib in at the front and bringing it back down, just to try and bulk my body up a wee bit, just because it's a bigger hook. So again, some of the black uni stretch or uni floss for the body. I'll cut a new length just to make sure I've enough, and then just catch that on the top. Again, bring everything back up to the front. Just trying to keep that tag end on the top, and then I'll trim it off. Just all helps to keep a nice taper in your body. And then roughly stop about 3 or 4mm from the eye. So counterwind our floss the opposite direction of our thread, touch and turns all the way up to where our silk is at the top of the fly, the head of the fly, and then just for this one, I want that body a bit thicker, so I'm going to take it back down. Again, try and keep the turns touching, overlapping slightly would do as well, and then I'll be stopping just short of where I caught the material in and bringing it back up. Oh, that was just a bit too wide there. That gives us just thickens the body up a wee bit. And then catch in with our thread. Three or 4 turns, couple in the front, and trim off. So again, just the same as our previous episode with our rib. 1 turn over our tail. It just helps get it to splay out a bit, and then even open turns up your body. 4 or 5, depending on the size of the fly. If there's one extra, I don't think it makes much of a difference. So, a couple of turns in the front of that, and trim off her rib. Now, just going to tidy that rib up a bit there, just the tag end, just to catch it down well. So, for this, where have I put them? That's it. For the wing of the fly, I'm going to be using a couple of Mallard quills. So I have 2 sets of wings cut here, because just depending on how I want the fly to look at the end, there's 2 different ways I do it. So the first way I'm going to put the wing slips on before the hackle, which it's a good way for starting off. It just means you can hide a bit more. You know, if your wings aren't as tidy, you're putting the hackle over. So catch the 2. There's my 2 wing slips there. Just hang on. Just see. One of them just looks a wee bit thicker than the other in the camera. I don't think. I'll take another fibre off just. Obviously you want them as even as possible. There we go. Just peel another fibre off. That's not too bad there. As you can see, tips of the feather are both pretty well aligned. You want to get them, it's a wee bit fiddly, but close to touching. And then, depending on the length you want your wing, just go somewhere into the tail. Just catch them over the top, pinch them, just check that they're sitting nice, and then we'll go for a wing and lip. So over the top and pull up. It's just a couple of turns of thread to see how that looks, how that's sitting. It's not too bad there. A wee bit of thread frayed. I'll trim that off. There we go. Now I'll just bind this down nice and tight and come in and trim away the waist as tight as I can get it. There's that wee, trim that off too. So just tidy that up a bit, ready for my haggle. It's not too bad there. Because I should have had a hackle ready, but so hackle for the fly is just the same as the black pennel. I have a natural black hen here. And again, for this one, I'm going to pick something fairly long. I want it to run well down and past the point. And basically it's just the exact same as finishing off the black panel. We bare off our stock, open up our tip, and then depending on how heavily dressed you want the fly, so nice and gentle, try not to disturb her wing too much. You don't want your first turn over the top of the wing, obviously it'll pull it to the side. So we'll just go, well, we'll keep turning until we're pretty much at the stock. Probably get 4 or 5 turns out of it. That'll do me there. There's a good wee duck fly pattern for the locks. Well, this is tied in a size 10, there's no reason you couldn't tie it on a 12 or a 14. We'll just get that bound down in and trim off. So like I say, this is probably, for somebody starting off, it's probably the simplest way. You don't have to worry too much about your proportion. If you've left a little bit too much room at your head, you can stick another couple of turns of hackle on. It just helps cover everything up a bit. There we go, there's the head built up, not too bad. And I'll finish off. go. So there's that one finished, all bar a touch of varnish. But I'll set that one into the side, and then we'll just go over the second way I would wing these. So here we have a fly I've pretty much pre-done. I've whip finished off, and then basically all I'm going to do is whip on, take my thread back about 3mm, and then this time instead of tying the wing slips on first, I'm just going to tie my hackle in. So I'll pick one, see if I can find one that pleases me. It's a bit too short. A wee bit longer than that one too. There we go, that one will do me. So take the flue off. Trim off her tip. And tie it in. So now we're just going to wind our hackle on, trying to keep our turns as tight as possible because we're going to need a bit of room to finish the fly off at the end, to get our wing in, to leave enough room to tidy up any bits of the wing that are sticking out of the thread. So there's our hackle on. Trim off our waist, and then just come in with our finger and thumb, just forcing, trying to tease the hackle down a bit. Just stops it from pushing our wing up too much. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I think it was the Mallard and Claret, I like the wing lying reasonably low. So just come in again, check them in the camera. Quite good, they look pretty even. Just make sure the tips are lined up quite well. So again, just set it in over the top. For me, tail going roughly, or wing going roughly halfway down the tail. Catch the two in. Just make sure everything's sitting on top of the shank, and then we come in again with our wing and loop. First one not too tight, second one slightly tighter, and we'll go from there. So how does that look? Just turn this round to see my side. It's not too bad. Yeah, I can live with that. So again, as tight as we can get it, this way where a real good pair of scissors comes in. And obviously then the tighter we can get our waist trimmed off, the easier it is to tidy everything up, just to build our head up. And then just with your thread, build up your head. And there we have two small variations of a blay and black. And really the only difference between that and a black panel is just the addition of your wing slips. Oh, there's a bit. Where's my? Hang on. Just caught one of the hackle fibres in the whip finish there, so I'll use my whip finish tool to pull it out. And then just trim off our thread. So, like I said, just the addition of a set of wing slips, and we've turned our black panel into a blay and black. Another good little wet fly. Either one of the variations, good representation for duck fly. Works quite well for sea trout as well. Good simple fly to tie. Just keeping practicing the core techniques. So hope you enjoyed the wee video. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably have to have a bit of a think on where I go from here now. This is kind of as far forward as I thought on with the series as far as the fly evolving, so I'm not quite sure where I'll go from here, so I'll have a wee think about it and hopefully be back in a week, maybe even sooner. So once again, thanks for watching, I appreciate it, and all the best.